Week 3 is here. College game day will be there. It's Georgia coming to Knoxville to play in Neyland Stadium. Georgia Bulldogs versus the Tennessee Volunteers. What a game. What an atmosphere it's going to be, man. Both teams going into this thing undefeated. Tennessee has handled business against Syracuse and ETSU. Georgia's pretty much handled business. They're 2-0, obviously, as well. Didn't look all that great against Austin Peay, to be honest with you, but they're still the Georgia Bulldogs. They're still a big-time opponent that Tennessee has not been able to crack in a few years now. Josh Heupel's never beat them. Game of the week, man. Like I said, college game day is going to be there. What an exciting time, dude. I'm so pumped and amped up for this game, man. I can't tell you how pumped up I am.
Dude, I always love when college game days in Knoxville, man. Yeah, I'm ready for it. It makes me nervous. I always get a little nervous, but man, I just like you said, I'm just hyped. Georgia coming to town. I really want to see Heupel get that first win. I hope we're wrong about our prediction. They
Me
did,
too.
and they did look a little. I hope they play like they did this past weekend. Um, which I know
No doubt.
Georgia's kind of notorious for playing to their opponents sometimes. So I think those big games they really show up for. So I'm not expecting them to play that way. I expect them to be fully ready to play us. And so I think it's gonna be a good game. I really do. I got my Tennessee stuff on. I'm ready all week for this thing. I see you basically got your Tennessee shirt there with the Morgan Wallen shirt going. Go Vols either way with that. You pretty much have a Vols shirt on right now. But
Yeah, the closest thing to wearing a Volunteers shirt without wearing a Volunteers shirt.
exactly, man. Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah, man. Like I said, I know we both predicted Georgia to win this game. That
We
being
did.
said, I think Tennessee's got a real shot, though. I don't think it's not. I predicted it to be close before the first year, and after seeing these first couple games, Tennessee showed me some promise that they'll be able to play with them, and maybe I'm just being optimistic, but I really do think that Tennessee's got a real shot. There's some things that I want to see and that we clean up, going into this game. Obviously, I would like to see limited on the penalties, man, especially those just gut-wrenching penalties that get you, like remove a touchdown, just kill a drive, things like that. We can't afford those, but I really want to see the secondary step up a little bit in this game, man. And that they played a little iffy first couple games of the year, so
Yep.
definitely would like to see that. Um, I think one of the key points for me going into this game, that defensive line putting pressure on Georgia's quarterback.
Yeah.
I think if we can create chaos for him, don't give him very long to be able to set back in the pocket there and make him make quick throws. I felt like teams don't run against us that well usually. We've got a really good defensive front, and so I hope we can keep that in check for this game too. But yeah, man, I think if we can get the pressure on the quarterback, I think will be a key in helping this secondary. That way, he don't have much time to sit back and think. That's just a key point for me. What do you think, kind of going into this? Something you really want to see going into this game?
Yeah, I really want to see obviously the penalties. I want to see those cleaned up. I want to see Tennessee continue to run the ball the way we've been running the ball over the past few years, and especially this season, how we've protected the ball. We do have a couple fumbles over the past couple weeks, but zero interceptions to this point for Joey Aguilar. Overall, aside from the game talk and all that, I'm just glad that we're in a position going into week 3 to even be able to feel confident and to even be able to say this is going to be a game. Anytime college game day shows up, they know that both teams are worthy of, a college game day appearance. I mean, they're not just college game day is not just going to any game. So the fact that they're coming to Knoxville to see Tennessee versus Georgia kind of just tells you everything you want to hear, to be honest with you. Yeah, and I kind of do regret, you can't go back in time. You can't change what you've said. I do kind of regret picking, preseason in our record prediction episode to lose this game. I have had a lot of people, especially during the offseason, tell me, I think this is the year we're going to take down Georgia, all that good stuff. I mean, playing the way that we've played, although, we played ETSU last week and we played Syracuse the week before. We haven't really faced a super strong opponent yet, but neither has Georgia. So this is going to be
Yeah.
the true testament This is gonna be the game where we truly see what we're made out of. Yeah, Joey Aguilar's looked good. Yeah, the running game's looked good. Yeah, but what do we look like when that SEC play starts? And that starts this week.
Yeah,
And as far as Georgia, that side of the ball, you know what you're going to get with Georgia. You're going to get a tough
yeah.
offensive line. You're going to get a really good defense. Not too sure what Gunnar Stockton's been doing. Well, I was going to try to pull up his stats here.
Yeah, he had like 227 yards the last game, 26 for
Yep.
34. Of course,
Okay.
Austin P, they did only beat 28-6. That was a little
Right.
surprising,
Right.
but they've played them in Marshall. So this is going to be his first big game with Georgia. They had Carson Beck there last year. So Joey Aguilar's first real big game. I think that Syracuse was a bigger opponent than Marshall or Austin P.
I agree.
So I do think he got to experience that a little bit with us. Both these quarterbacks' first big SEC game, and again, Gunnar Stockton, this is his first like actual test. So it'll be interesting to see how that and the noise, in Neyland can get quite loud. So, um,
Yep. Yep.
it's always interesting to see how a quarterback adjusts to that type of environment.
Yep.
I'm not just sitting here saying that as a bragging on Knoxville thing. It's anytime you go to some of these SEC environments, it's interesting to see what a new quarterback to that does
Yep.
and how he's going to react to that.
Yeah, it seems like both teams have kind of protected the ball. Looking at the stats now, finally got them pulled up here. Gunnar Stockton hasn't thrown any interceptions yet, so that's good for them, I guess. Joey's been protecting the ball, so I think it's really just going to boil down to who makes the most mistakes, honestly. I mean, the penalties that we seem to rack up on a weekly basis do kind of scare me in a game like this. They don't really hurt you as bad against the ETSUs of the world, but when the Georgias of the world show up, man, you've got to clean up your act. You've got to play disciplined. You've got to play sound football. I'm excited to see Boo Carter in this one. Hopefully that defense can hold off their offense so my man can get some punt returns.
Yeah,
I'm begging Josh Heupel to put that man on offense. Whether it's we talked about this in the last episode, but whether it's just bring him in on certain formations, bring him in on certain plays. I don't care what you got to do. Get this man on the offensive side of the ball. Let him be a playmaker.
yeah, for sure.
We got to see some of these injuries. We got to see some of these injured players get back out on the field. Man, Jackson Moy, Jermod McCoy, David Sanders Jr.
Yeah,
I want to see these guys play.
yeah, definitely. Especially, I mean, all those guys, especially McCoy. I feel like that secondary man, I would really like to see him back and healthy, um, and ready to go for this game. Do we know if has there really been much on that? If he's going to be back for Georgia or
I don't
speculation
know.
still?
Yeah, I think it's still speculation. It'll probably be a game time decision. It seems like typically Heupel keeps that stuff close to the vest. Well, all the coaches do really.
Yeah, yeah. Keep them guessing a little bit. They don't know if they're going to have to deal with him or not.
Yeah. Um, I think if I just had to say one thing that worries me about this game, and it's that secondary, like you said. From what we've seen the first 2 weeks, which granted we killed ETSU, we beat Syracuse, but you and I have both talked about this over the past couple weeks. Even though we did what we were supposed to do against ETSU, there were still moments in that game where we were both like, okay, if you allow that against a big team, Syracuse made some plays against us in that season opener a couple weeks ago where it's like, okay, but if you do that against big teams, if you give up those 4th and 10, all that type of stuff, if
Oh,
you
that
if you
was
give that up to
rough.
big time teams, they will make you pay for it. They're going to make you pay for it.
Yeah, man, it'll be interesting for sure.
Hmm.
It's definitely going to be interesting. And going back to where you talking real quick on this, one of the last things I'll say on this game about the prediction thing. We were doing this off preseason. We had no idea what this offense would even look like. So when you kind of predicting on there, you kind of have to go with what like history tells you, and like but I have more confidence than I did before the season started.
I
Um,
did too.
Not saying we're for sure winning this game or anything, but I do think this is going to be a competitive game, and we definitely have a real chance, I think, at beating them. Um, and especially if we can just clean up some of those little things, and I wouldn't mind if Georgia played like they did last weekend either. So that'd help.
No doubt. No
Uh,
doubt.
That would help.
I will say this, and this is speculation, but I think there's a lot of truth in this. Josh Heupel's a smart coach. He's very cerebral with the way he approaches the game. I'm gonna say that we haven't seen everything that Tennessee has to offer offensively.
No,
Josh
I'm
Heupel is
saying that.
smart. Josh Heupel is smart enough knowing week one Syracuse, week two ETSU, week three Georgia. He is
Yep,
smart enough not to put everything on tape going into
yep.
this game. So, with that being said, I think that Tennessee is going to showcase a lot of stuff that we haven't seen to this point in the year because there is no tape other than week one and two on Joey Aguilar in this offense. There is no tape, it doesn't exist.
Yep.
So, I think we're going to come out. You're going to see a lot of different formations. You're going to see maybe more deep balls. You're going to see obviously that running game.
Hmm.
If you want to, let's do this. I want to do it. Let's go ahead and give our prediction for this game. But I'm just going to go ahead and say that I think the Tennessee Volunteers take care of business at home against Georgia this weekend. I think that the Vols are going to finally get the best of Kirby and the Bulldogs. And I'm going to say it's a tight one. I'm going to say that Georgia does expose some of the things we were worried about, but ultimately we come out on top. And I'm going to say that the score is going to be 32-24 balls.
Okay.
32-24 balls.
I do think Vols are going to win this game. I don't know what it is. I'm switching from my original prediction. If I'm wrong, my original prediction was right, and that's all that matters. But so I don't know. Just after the first couple of weeks, it's changed it a little bit for me because I thought it was going to be a close game anyways. I'm going to say close game. Tennessee 35, Georgia 32, 3-point game.
35-32, right?
Yeah.
Sweet, man. I'm
So
telling
I'm
you,
going to go with it.
it feels good. That was my gut off the top of the dome prediction right
Yeah.
there. 32-24.
Yeah. I think so,
Man, I
man.
hope we're right.
I do too. I do too. People know be roasting us in the comments, but yeah,
No
yeah. I hope
doubt.
we're right on this. But yeah, and kind of the state, man. I mean, game day is going to be there. I think me and you discussed this, and I think we were in agreement that the fourth and whatever game of the week is going to be
Yep.
Tennessee and Georgia.
Yep.
Um, you
Game of the
know,
week, baby.
and I think it was a little. We had a game or so that, or a game in there we thought might be ahead of that one before this, but with the Florida LSU. But that is now Tennessee Georgia. I think is the game of the week now, and I think that's why game day is going to be there.
100%.
Something to mention, I guess, with some of these games that there were some notable games because this week we do have more games that really stand out to you as far as ranked teams playing each other. I had them as a ranked team. I still got it as a game to watch for as Florida and LSU. Florida's no longer ranked, but I just wanted to I just want to put it out there in case anybody didn't know that Florida Gators are not in the top 25. But seriously, with the LSU game, I think it's a big game because I think it's still a pivotal moment of how Florida's going to do for the
Yeah.
season. Florida comes out and loses this game and is dead. Not even like even a close game. They're going into a you know hostile environment playing at LSU.
It's a night game, by the way.
hmm And that's just not easy. Like I said, the real Death Valley. So I mean, I got that one on there as a game to watch just because I think it's if Florida comes out flat and just and gets beat, man, they're going to have a terrible season. I feel like if they come out and win this game, then they might still be able to save their season. Some in South Florida just might be better than what everybody thought.
Yeah.
Do,
Yeah, I
do, do
agree.
we want do we make a quick prediction on this game? Who we think wins?
Yeah, so I think something else interesting to add about this game is take note that LSU didn't look that great last week either in week two against Louisiana Tech. So that's something to take into consideration as well. But with everything going on with Florida, man, and the hot seat talk and a loss like they took last week, man, does not spill well over into the locker room. I imagine morale's down. I imagine there's a lot of finger pointing. I've got LSU in this one, man. I've got LSU at night with a pretty significant win. I think LSU's most likely take care of business, and I think you're looking at probably 2 to 3 score win on this one.
Same man. I think LSU bounces back from having like a little bit of a slower week against an opponent they probably overlooked a little. Coming off of a big win against Clemson at Clemson, it could have had a little bit of a hangover effect to this game, and then looking on to Florida. I think
Yep,
LSU wins by a couple touchdowns, and wins this game.
yep, I
And
agree.
then
I agree totally, man.
couple more here I just would like for us to mention. Something to look for. I mean, I'm telling you, man, we got some good games this weekend. Another one pretty big one's Texas A&M and M and Notre Dame. Um,
Hmm.
Texas A&M, another SEC school. Notre Dame, no conference, never had one. Wish they would have one, but no matter as much now. But it used to make me so mad. They never had to play in that extra game, join a conference. But Notre Dame, Texas A&M. Who you
Yep.
got, man?
Yeah, another cool matchup, another top 10 matchup. To this point in the season, both teams look pretty good. If I'm not mistaken, a couple years ago, Notre Dame came to Texas A&M and beat them, but I'm most likely, my gut is leaning Notre Dame for some reason, and I'm gonna go with that. No other reason.
That's fair, man. And I kind of like honestly, this is a tough pick for me. I really don't. Like I said, I feel like Notre Dame was something I leaned to at one point. But man,
Mhm.
Notre Dame, I thought, I mean, a great game with Miami. I still think they're good. I'm just going to go Texas A&M though. I think Notre
Yep.
Dame drops another big one early in the season here. I think it'll be a good game. No, I definitely
Yep.
don't think no blowout, but I think Texas A&M takes this one. Just,
Yeah, that's fair,
just
man.
do, just do, man.
Keeping it SEC. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna stick with that one on this one. Now this one's a fun one now to talk about because now this is a ranked matchup. South Florida, ranked as they should be. They're 2-0 against, and they're both ranked teams at this point.
Hmm.
Knocked one of them out of it, and Miami's now moved up to number 5 after their win with Notre Dame and then winning pretty easily this past weekend. South Florida and Miami. So South Florida has to play another Florida school, another
Right.
now a top 10 ranked school. I just want to start this one
Yeah,
by saying, dude, if South Florida wins this game, bro,
man.
look at they're legit. I mean, they're a top 10 team now, right? If they win this game, they have to be a top 10
Yeah,
team.
yeah,
Um,
without a doubt, man.
but
And if they win this game, you're looking at they'll be on the national. I mean, they're already on the national watch, but
yeah,
I mean, everyone's going to be shook by that if they win. And it's kind of funny if they wouldn't have done what they did last week against Florida, we're probably not even mentioning this game realistically. But yeah, South Florida goes to Miami. I think everything that they did against Florida was magical. Big time win for the program, for Alex Golish and them down there. I respect Alex Golish obviously as him being a former Tennessee Ball. I do, however, think that their little Cinderella story kind of comes to a halt here.
yeah,
I got Miami in this one, man. I think what they've showcased to this point, and I hate to admit it really because I don't really care that much for him, but Carson Beck's looks pretty good. They've got some absolute playmakers down there, and their defense looks good. Yeah, I got Miami at home against South Florida in this one.
yeah. I hear that, man. Yeah, man. This is an interesting one. But I think for South Florida, first off, thank you. Um,
Yes,
Knocking
thank
off
you.
Florida so early on is just such a wonderful thing to happen. Um, but again, I think midnight strikes this Saturday, and I think Miami is going to win by a couple of touchdowns. Or
Yep,
I don't think it's going to be even a very close game. I think it'll stay a little close at first, but I do think Miami pulls away a little bit and wins this game. And then
yep,
everybody comes to realize that and South Florida may have a very good season overall. I'm not doubting that they're not going to have a good season. I just
hmm,
think that the whole run here is going to stop at Miami. I think they'll be
yep.
a little outmatched for that.
Yeah, I agree. And the sneaky factor's kind of gone now, right? I mean, when they
Yeah,
played Florida, they had that sneaky sneak up on you and beat you
yeah,
factor. Now that they're on everyone's radar and what happened last week happened, I feel like Miami is going to be a little more on their toes now. So I think that's important to take into consideration.
yeah,
Not to go into too much detail about any of these other games, but like you said, dude, this week Week three slated, man, with some good games. You got Vanderbilt playing South Carolina. You've got Arkansas playing Ole Miss. Something interesting, I think, to watch out for is Wisconsin, Alabama, and then Clemson, Georgia Tech as well. So
Some good
we're
games,
gonna be
man.
busy this weekend, man. I'm gonna be glued to that couch again.
Good games. Oh yeah, man. Same, same. We got some good games rolling in. I guess one thing about, you know, going into each week, like we said, we're going to do, we're going to give our SEC power rankings for our top five for the going into the week. I'm sure we got a little bit of a change up going on. If you want to go first on this one, you want to give us your top five power rankings, or do you want me to
Yeah,
go?
yeah, I'll go. Yeah, so obviously we did week one. After week two, going into week three, my list did change up a little bit. I think that looking at everything has the teams are the same in mine, just a little quick thing, but the orders changed a little bit. So I still got Georgia number one. I think until proven otherwise, and I hate saying that going into Georgia week, just giving props where props are due, giving credit to them. I got Georgia sitting there at number one. I do have a little mix up here at number two. I got Tennessee sliding into that number two position for the
Nice.
top five power rankings. After week two and Arch Manning's little bounce back and Texas's little bounce back, although it was against a smaller opponent, I think they finally kind of started showcasing what they're going to be about this year. And I got Texas sliding into number three there. And then after that, got number four, South Carolina. And then since LSU did struggle against Louisiana Tech and everyone else kind of beat their opponents handedly, I did slide LSU down there to number five. So we'll see what happens after this week. But that's my top five.
Yeah. Nice, man. Mine a little different, but I do have some similar things too. I did go ahead and slide Georgia up to number one.
Mhm.
Again, I don't know that they really deserved it so much, but based off LSU's struggle, I went ahead and slid Georgia up to number one.
Gotcha.
I know Clemson struggled. They did kind of fall back in and come back really hard in that second half. I think they still had some a little bit of a hangover from losing to LSU. Um,
Yep.
I'm going to give them both the benefit of the doubt on that with LSU kind of struggling too after the Clemson. Looking forward to Florida. I still got LSU at two for right now. I had them at
Okay.
one, but I dropped them back to two. I know I've kind of kept them a little higher from the entire time that we've been ranking. So um, my number three is Tennessee. Um, I want to put Tennessee above both of those I have,
Go
and
balls.
that's right, man. Um, and I'm hoping that I can do that here after this weekend. But yeah, Tennessee, I got them at number three right now. And these are all very close, by the way. This isn't no like standout Georgia number one, LSU number two. Like these are very close, interchangeable. Um, Number four, I did put Texas there after the little bit of a bounce back. I still think their defense is just insane. So I think they're a very tough team still. I mean, like I said, they lost to Ohio State by 7 points. So I've got them at number four right now. And number five, Florida's gone, so they're no longer in that spot. I know last time I said I would have had South Carolina sitting at my sixth spot. No hate on South Carolina. I still have them at my sixth spot because I actually moved Oklahoma into my fifth.
Very
After this
nice.
win, I just Oklahoma showed a little bit more to me, and I looked at the stats, their quarterback even from that first game, and I've got Oklahoma sitting at five right now, and that's going to round out my top five. South Carolina again, you're sitting right there at six. You're right there, but you could easily be in there. I see why you got them in there. But that's going to be my top five going into week three, and
Very
as
nice.
my power rankings. I'm sure that's all about to change up after
Oh
this
yeah.
week, but you know.
Changes weekly,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah, absolutely.
So speaking of rankings and everything like that, real quick, I think it's important to just kind of give our give our thoughts on the AP poll going into week three. A lot of things have changed. You did just mention that Florida is no longer anywhere on your top five SEC. They are also no longer anywhere on the AP top 25. So I'll just throw that little little bit out there.
Out, out.
Yep. Something to note though, Auburn has crept up into the top 25. They are now ranked number 24. Um, Missouri, they are also rounding out the top 25 there at number 25. South Florida has made their way onto this list, man. They went from nothing to ranked number 18. Uh, Pretty interesting. They're sitting right there above Alabama. That's really cool to see. Tennessee did go from number 20, what was it, number 22 last week?
Yeah, to 15.
Yeah, they are now ranked number 15. So climbed up 7 spots after that ETSU win there. You know,
Some of that was probably some
uh,
losses happened in front of them too, I'm sure.
yeah, of course, of course. And then probably poor play as well. You got Florida State, they're still climbing. They're number 10 now, up 4 spots.
In that 10 spot.
Yep. Oregon, they looked good. They're sitting there at number 4. LSU still comfortably sitting there at number 3. So yeah, I mean this thing's a living, breathing thing, man. People are moving up and down this
Uh,
thing already. We're just
did
two
you
weeks
see
into it.
Georgia went from 4 to 6, so they did drop a couple spots.
Stuff like that just adds to my belief and my hope for this game coming up this week, man. It's going to be pure cinema in Knoxville, Tennessee this weekend.
No, I think you're right, man, and I hope we're celebrating after the weekend and have our next podcast is gonna our next episode is gonna be really good and we're really happy. But you know, at the end of the day, I mean, I just hope that we are very competitive. Obviously, I want to win. It's time to win. It's time to beat Georgia. We haven't done it
It
yet,
is.
you know. And when we lose those type of close games, and it is much better than what it used to be. And like when we weren't even in close games, and wasn't even fun to watch. So, I I'm glad that we're very competitive the last few years because people love to hate on us right now, but people hate on us now harder than they usually do, and I think it's because we are relevant again. So,
Yep.
um, and I think people recognize that they just don't want to say it. But it is time to get over that hump of just being competitive now and like really starting to do something. I'd like to see us back in the playoffs and see us um, in the future continuing to, obviously get closer to getting that national championship, man. That's what everybody's after. So,
Got that right. Yeah, this weekend is going to be a huge stepping stone for the program. If we can go into Knoxville this weekend, take care of business, play the game the right way, and Josh Heupel says this, all they have to do is be the best team on the field every Saturday.
uh,
So hopefully they have that motto going into it, man, and it's going to be exciting. I'm so excited for this game, dude. It's unreal. The stage that's set, game day, all that good stuff. I'm ready. I'm ready. Go Vols. I'm ready to see what happens.
go Vols, man. As always, this has been a fun one, and I hope we got some good news next week. And if you haven't, I haven't got to mention this yet. If you're watching us, you want to continue to hear more stuff, make sure you like and subscribe. Helps us out, and it'll help you keep up with the stuff we post. So we're posting, every Tuesday and every Friday. So, um,
Yep,
and we got a long season ahead. So if you want to
that's
keep
right.
following us, just make sure you hit that subscribe button. Anything you want to add, Adam?
Yeah, I just say, yeah, subscribe to the channel. Give us some comments and likes and stuff like that. Give us your score prediction for game of the week. Tennessee versus Georgia. Tell us what you think the outcome's going to be of that game. And we look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Absolutely. Been fun as always, man. Adam, I'll see you.
Yep. Take care, brother.